Welcome to the second of two parts of this 18th program in the Art in Arlington series. In this program, we continue our conversation with Mark Ostow, a local photographer who specializes in portrait photography. We pick up on our conversation about that photograph of Robert Reich, who was shopping seemingly naked in a local food establishment, and then we talk about some other of his photographs. I mean, one of Ben Bradley, another one of Benoit Mandelbrot, and a CEO of, I think, Boston Beer. And we come back to our conversation about the indecisive in-between moment, and we find out other things that Mark is doing. He teaches teenagers, how to do photography. He also does some work with homeless veterans, teaching them photography. So Mark has his hands in a lot of areas. And as you might imagine from someone who is so active, he has a very active personality, and it was really a joy talking with Mark, and I think you're going to learn a lot as well as be very well entertained. So as always, I thank you for watching.
I can't tell you if he was or wasn't.
Okay, that's fine. I just assumed he was wearing like a bikini thing, but anyways, go ahead.
So that was for Cambridge Community Television.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because we did a calendar.
Right.
And so what should I tell you about that? How did?
Well, that's fine. I didn't know it was for CCTV.
Yep, it was for CCTV.
Okay. Right.
Susan Fleischman's director there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And she collaborated with me, and we photographed many Cantabrigians.
Right.
And everybody was naked
All
for the
right.
most part. And I actually made that photograph, the Robert Reich photograph, into a postcard.
Uh-huh.
And he wrote to me about that. He wrote to me and said, "Dear Mark, a friend of mine has alerted me that he saw that photograph you took for the calendar in the form of a postcard. Could you please not use that as a postcard anymore?
Yeah.
Sincerely, Bob."
Right. That's interesting.
I wrote back and explained that he had taken that photograph and brought it on Conan O'Brien, and felt that if he could bring it on Conan O'Brien, I could use it as a postcard.
Right. Interesting. So when was this taken?
The photograph?
Yeah.
It was in Formaggio in Huron Village in Cambridge.
No, but when?
Oh, when?
Yeah.
That's 2006.
Okay, so that would have been before his days as labor secretary.
After labor secretary.
Oh, it's after labor secretary. Okay, because that was.
He was labor secretary for Clinton.
For Clinton, yeah. For some reason I was thinking it was Obama. Okay, and was he teaching then? Was he in?
He was on the East Coast. He was in Cambridge.
All right. The only reason I ask is that it has him designated as a writer, which is a little bit generic for someone in his position. So I was kind of like,
So it should have been former labor secretary or secretary.
Yeah.
Could be Secretary Robert Reich, but I so many different things.
Yeah.
He's I hear he's an incredible professor.
Yeah.
And he's a writer, and
Yeah.
he ran for governor, and he was labor secretary,
Yeah.
and he's a social activist.
Yeah. So I was just curious as to why
I
he
think
went with
he's
writer.
an amazingly accomplished man.
Yeah, I agree, and also I see that you have a lot of researchers on your website, and maybe these are famous people and I just don't know them, but there strikes me as just a kind of common man-woman aspect to your portraits. Am I off the mark on that, or not?
Like researcher.
You have some researchers, biologists, and
I think just because we're in Cambridge, I get
Yeah.
I do some photography for Technology Review magazine,
Yeah.
or somebody will call me from out of town and ask
Right.
me to photograph, and they're just a lot of researchers because we're doing a lot of research.
Right, I got it. And
I think, and sometimes those photographs, as you could picture, a challenge. How do you photograph someone in a lab and make it different than the last time you photographed someone in the lab?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then I saw one that was like the annual report for a brewery.
Oh, that was done. I photographed that back like in That was a long time ago. That was before film, even. That was
You mean before digital?
no before film.
What was before film in photography? What was before film in photography?
Maybe okay, it wasn't before film. It seems that long ago though.
But what, no, now I'm just really curious. What was before film in photography?
There really wasn't anything. No, there's nothing before film.
Okay, all right. So I was like,
I mean, Civil War they were using film. It was different.
So yeah,
Different process, but it was still film.
I got it. So
So it feels like it was before film.
All right.
That was again one of those decisive moments. I think the beer. It's Jim Cook of Boston Beer. Do you know that? He has a really funny voice.
No, I didn't know
All
that.
right, this is Jim Cook
No, I didn't know
of
that.
Boston Beer. Sam Adams. He's the president of Boston Beer Company. Okay, that might not be his voice, but it could be. And I was photographing him for this annual report, and they filled up his beer so it would have the perfect head, but it went over and started spilling. And I have a photograph of everybody looking at that.
Okay.
So that was sort of the moment.
I got you.
I don't know if that's the decisive, indecisive, or the, what did I call it before?
The in-between.
In-between moment,
Yeah, and then another one that we captured they caught my attention was Benoit. Maybe that's how you say his first name, Mandelbrot.
Oh, Mandelbrot.
Yeah. So
He was losing patience with me quick. Sometimes the images I get are the people who are losing patience with me. In fact, Ben Bradley, not to change subject.
That's fine.
Ben Bradley.
I don't know.
Ben Bradley, former publisher of the Washington Post, former editor of the Washington Post during the All the President's Men period.
Yeah. Okay. The name
during
came to
Watergate.
mind, but yeah.
I mean, American hero, great American hero. And he was at the JFK School of Government.
Yeah.
And I had very little time, put my coffee down on his desk to photograph him, and then by accident I knocked over the coffee.
Yeah.
And he was furious.
Of course.
And then I have this image I never would have of him. And he has quite a temper.
Right. Well, yeah.
Let's just say the shoot was very short after that, but I did get something I like.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, and not. Okay, cool. And not that I think someone has that they shouldn't try to control their temper in a situation like that. It's not like you intentionally put spill coffee on his desk, but still, I mean, I can imagine someone who's already impatient being just.
He already didn't want me to photograph him, which is funny since he should have respect because he's in the business.
Right. So did he call you in to photograph him, or?
No, it's hired by JFK School of Government.
Oh, I got you. Okay. All right. So it wasn't like I got it. I understand. Yeah, but it's
I was never hired again by them.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
In fact, he said to me, "You'll never work in this town again," which is strange.
That is strange. I mean, that's not cool. The insights that you get into people when they are.
I hope there aren't tapes on that because he didn't say that.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said I hope there aren't tapes from that situation because he didn't really say that. You'll never work in this town again. I made that up.
Oh, you just made that up. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, thanks for clarifying that because although this isn't on tape, it is being recorded, and so we can take it out if you want.
Oh no, don't take it out.
All right.
Oh no, you keep anything in.
All right.
I'm in a stream of consciousness.
You're just playing with me now, and so this is turning into be a very unique interview, and but still very interesting for me. Thanks. So the in between indecisive moments. So on your website, as I said, you have the indecisive moment, and now you've determined that it's really.
I'm taking it to another level. So it's like, yeah.
So now I'm going to ask you if you will indulge me to.
It's really hard. It's almost like a feeling.
Go ahead.
It's a feeling.
But you can explain a feeling.
It's hard to explain a feeling.
But you can try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Like right there, you caught the in-between moment.
Oh, that wasn't an indecisive moment.
No.
Because you couldn't decide how you were going to explain it to me.
No, but it was just like it was. Yeah. Did you catch that?
So that was the in-between moment.
That was an indecisive moment.
Oh, see, I thought you were already indecisive, and now you're just trying to transition, from one state of indecisiveness to another.
I think the decisive moment would be.
No, the indecisive. I don't care about the decisive moment. What's the indecisive moment?
The decisive moment would be if someone actually came here with a weapon, and I turned around with shock, and you caught that moment of shock.
But that's a decisive moment.
Right.
Well, on your website, you say the indecisive, the I-N-D.
Right, yes.
And so,
Yeah, I'm not trying for the decisive moment.
So
that's before the decisive moment. It's sort of.
So then you're saying that the indecisive and the in-between moments are the same.
Those very similar.
They're
like
very
I still trying. They're nuanced.
And now I'm trying to understand the nuance.
I'm trying to too, though. I'm a researcher.
But to the extent you've determined that there is an in-between moment that is different
well,
from the decisive moment.
It could be it's like very similar. Like I still haven't quite figured out, but it has a different.
Okay, fine.
I get back. Can I?
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I understand where you are in the process now, and that's all that I care about at this point. If you want to get back to me with more, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
this is incisive. I'm sorry. This is insightful in itself. I mean, so because sometimes a thought isn't fully fleshed out.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where we are.
Exactly.
I mean, so
Exactly.
Now, yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, so cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just always want to be growing. So.
Yeah, I got it. You know, but I like that aspect of trying to capture the indecisive, in between moment. And
does my head look too big in this shot? No, I'm serious.
Well,
because my proportion, it's off a little bit.
What is off?
I think my head is to my body isn't it a little bit bigger than?
Well, you can't change that.
I know, but I'm just wondering how it looks.
Well, it looks fine to me. I wouldn't have said that. I mean, some people have larger heads. I mean, some people don't. Some people have larger bodies. I mean, some people don't. I mean, you seem to have a thinner, more svelte body, and so to the extent that your head might be a little larger than average, it will look a little larger on your smaller frame. Does that answer your question?
So you're saying yes.
In short, yes.
Okay.
so let me rephrase that. In short, potentially yes, because I'm not sure if your head really is much larger than average. Yeah.
I think it is. I mean.
Well, what about your hat size? Do you find?
Well, I was in Ocean State Job Lot.
Yeah.
And they had all these hats that were like, wow, these hats are amazing. These hats are amazing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
These hats, right? Like, okay, picture the situation. Okay, the hats. I mean, it's like $5 hats made of materials that were actually decent. Okay, and they were all interesting. And guess what?
What?
You know where this is going.
No, I don't know where it's going.
Okay, none of them fit me.
Okay, because they're all too small.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
every single one of them.
So now we have.
So then I'm faced with the point. Do I try it? I mean, I sort of know I try 5 of them, but do I give up and just say I'm not? I mean, they're all going to be too small, or do I stick with it? I think that's sort of a life lesson. That's a life lesson right there.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It's a life lesson because it's like, do you stick with it? And I end up finding one that sort of fit.
Yeah. Well, I somehow kind of remember that people with bigger heads have bigger brains, and bigger brains mean that they're smarter. Is
that true?
I think it's true.
So there's hope.
Well, it's not that there's hope.
I think I'm in the anomaly, though. I do.
Well, there is variation of the species.
Yeah. But I try extra hard, though. I do.
Well, I tried.
Right? Like, I wasn't that smart to try every single hat, but I did, and I actually found one.
Well, good.
That fit. It's not this hat, though. It's in the car. I wish you could see it.
Well, you know what? If we go down, maybe I could get some B-roll of the hat, or you can take a picture of the hat and send it to me.
I will send you a photo of that.
Because this is unless you really nix this in the YouTube version of the video, it's going to be in it. It's just hilarious.
I would like you to see that hat very much.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, can I tell you something? This is an aside.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
That's fine.
Okay. Do you ever hear of Luther Guitar?
No.
Johnson, Junior Johnson? No? Blues player.
Okay, yeah, no.
Okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, Luther, this relates to photography.
Yeah, it's fine.
I photographed him 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I have a house in Antrim, New Hampshire.
Okay.
And I was talking to him and found out that he lives in Bennington, New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
Which was like, I was shocked that this 80-year-old black blues accomplished, amazing man lived in Bennington, New Hampshire. It just didn't make any sense.
Right.
And then he told me his address, but I couldn't quite make it out.
Right.
And it's a town next to my town, Antrim.
Yeah.
And for 3 years I've been meaning to, like, I got to find out where he lives. I got to go find him in Bennington. I don't remember, I couldn't hear what he said. He said I should visit him.
Okay.
And finally yesterday, I decide I'm going to find him. And I go through Google, and trying to find someone's address is not that easy. They're always trying to get you to pay for it.
Yeah,
and
you're not sure you're going to get,
Yep. And then I just kept on looking. I find Luther Guitar Jr.'s address in Bennington.
And?
I head right there.
Yeah.
And I just cannot believe it. Find the house.
Yeah.
It's part of a little bit of a complex in Bennington.
Yeah.
I see a man outside. I said, does Luther Guitar Jr. Johnson live here?
Yeah.
And he says, he moved to Florida a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's a sad ending to the story.
Yeah.
But then, you can start the hunt again.
Right, but filing under procrastination.
Yeah, right. No, I hear you. No,
Look at that.
Right.
3 years later, here I am.
Right.
He just moved.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I wanted a photograph from yesterday. I had all my equipment.
Oh, I see. So that is a sad story.
Yeah.
Well, but you don't know if he would have agreed to being photographed. So.
He was so friendly to me, and he was like, visit me anytime. But of
Oh.
course, would he remember that 3 years later?
Yeah. No, I understand. Well, then, then maybe, if you really want the photograph, though, I mean,
I should go to Florida.
go to Florida. I mean, and don't procrastinate on this one, and you'll value it even more because you pursued it.
I felt like it was like trying to find J.D. Salinger, and then you finally get there, and J.D. Salinger's gone.
Yeah, well, in this case, he's not dead yet.
Yes.
Hopefully, so I encourage you to do it, and in order to encourage you not to procrastinate anymore, to the extent that, let's say, after your workshop, head down there before hurricane season starts.
I think you're right.
So
I am planning to go on a cross-country trip and work on a photo project all of August.
Wow. Well, in this.
Anyway, we get back to your questions. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
That was a big tangent.
That's fine. No, but it had an important lesson in it, and it's an interesting story. So I appreciate that. And the whole point of this is just to have a free-flowing conversation. As I told your sister and me, I like to think of these as my own kind of personal open studios with artists, because I like going to open studios. But I don't want to monopolize the artist's time at the studios, because the whole point is for them to meet other people. But I love talking with artists and getting insights into them and their art. So that's why I'm doing this series. And so it's my series. And so
no, you're doing great.
I can put what I want in it.
You've done a great job. You've put me at ease. And I think,
Well, thanks. I'm enjoying it myself. So I do a couple of things I want to get at before we run out of time. Because the link to Arlington is that you have the Kickstand Cafe. So there are two questions here. One is, how did you get in that business? And second, why Arlington?
Okay. Did you get that what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's video, I have many frames of indecisive moments.
Nice. Okay, so let's back up to that CCTV calendar,
sure.
The naked calendar I did.
Yeah.
So when I did the naked calendar, it comes out, and there's a new bookstore in Cambridge at that point called Porter Square Books.
Yeah.
So Porter Square Books was having an event, and as part of the event, we promoted the calendar. We actually had some of the people from the calendar in bathrobes.
Cool.
Robert Reich wasn't there.
Right.
But they were in bathrobes, and one of them was actually naked under the bathrobe, which I thought was not necessary. That's besides the point.
Well, yeah. Well,
Or
still,
part of the point.
I think it's appropriate. Totally.
Okay. Okay, so how does this get me to owning a cafe in Arlington?
You'll get me there.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
Hang in
You'll
there.
Get me there. Yeah, sure.
So we have this event, and I'm speaking to, I'm pretty sure it was Jane Dawson, one of the owners at that time of the bookstore.
Okay.
And Jane's pointing out an area of the bookstore and saying, we're trying to open up a cafe there. And many people say there's not enough room for a cafe.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, hey, I think there's enough room for a cafe. And I said, in fact, I know a lot of people in the coffee business. I'll get someone to open a cafe there for you. So then it was sort of like Dick Cheney helping George W. Bush find a vice president.
I get it. I know where we're going.
Yeah, it's like I start to look a little bit, and then I go, I think I'm the best person to open a cafe here. And somehow I convinced them. I mean, to this day, I don't know how I convinced them, but somehow they believed that I would actually be able to open a cafe there.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, Linda and I, hired Rachel Motherpearl, who had experience opening cafes and running cafes, and we hired a designer. We did everything, and we somehow pulled this thing. Equal Exchange. My closest friend, my best friend Rink, had founded Equal Exchange. You know Equal Exchange Coffee Company, Fair Trade Coffee?
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah.
So they lent us somebody to help us consult, and somehow we opened a cafe there. And the cafe, little by little, became, a place to be, and it was somewhat successful.
Right.
And I think the bookstore was appreciating it.
Right.
And then, without going into too much detail, because then you'll run out of videotape.
Right.
Using tape,
it's disk space, but that's okay.
You run out of disk space.
Yeah.
I met Emily Shea at the cafe, and we decided to open a cafe on the bike path in Arlington. That's the short story version.
All right.
And so suddenly I was an experienced cafe owner, and I had something to offer Emily.
Right.
And we collaborated. She had a location in mind.
Right.
And we bought that space in Arlington Center.
Yeah.
And we opened up Kickstand Cafe.
Yeah.
And Emily's a lifelong Arlington resident.
Okay.
I don't know, lifelong, but
right.
a long time.
Yeah.
Long time,
right.
Arlington.
Cool.
Raised 3 kids there.
Yeah. So that explains that linkage. So, all right.
And that's so I own 2 cafes.
Right.
But I'm mostly a photographer.
Right. So like I said, my link, for me, the link to Arlington can be very loose, but
I'd say it's a strong. I mean, I walk in there and I actually know people.
Yeah, right. But for me, it's like not necessarily that you live there.
And employ Arlington people.
You're an employer. and so I had to.
We've been robbed. I'm just saying, we've been robbed a few times.
Really?
Yes, and yeah, we have.
I had no idea. It's not like
I really appreciate the Arlington police.
Yeah, no, they're a good bunch. I know some of them.
Amazing response time.
I know they really care, and I've seen like the chief of police at board of selectmen meetings and interacted with them, and they really care. And so they listen to the community, and so
it's a great community.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that explains.
We're having more and more community events too.
At the
cafe,
Nice. And certainly we'll put information about the cafe at the video because.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I like the place. I like the food a lot.
But you said you only come once a month.
I said I like the food a lot. I didn't say I eat the food a lot.
No, but you come once a month, though, right?
Yeah, about once a month.
Okay.
So.
What would make you come there more?
What would make me come there more? Well, I don't know because we are so fortunate in Arlington to have so many good places to eat.
Yes.
And a lot of good places in Arlington East, and I do some cooking on my own. So
nice.
So the fact that I'm there on once a month means that you're already getting kind of above average of my with patronage of a given spot, and so yeah, and so if
we can get everyone to double the amount of times they come there in a month, that'd be great.
Yeah. But I guess if you're asking me, then what
come
would
twice a month?
That could take me to make me get there twice a month.
Yeah, what would it take?
What would it take?
Larger menu? No, because
And I have to
Well, you talk about that off camera.
yeah, and I'll think about it, and,
Off camera.
and maybe some of the people watching this can chime in if they want to on the YouTube website or the YouTube video. And
Nice.
let me see. I guess just to get
You don't need to edit this. I don't mind if it's just unedited. I like this.
yeah, no, I tend to do as little editing as possible. And,
Okay.
Yeah, and just put up CG of the person's ID, so like your name. And I guess for you, in fact, we can kind of sort this out now. You want to be Mark Ostow, photographer?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
That's
good.
the main
So-
thing I do.
So I flash that up every 10 minutes or so. I guess I'm going to wrap
I
this
think
up.
I'm boring myself. So
No, I'm going to wrap this up. I mean, one other question though about the indecisive moments and how you capture them though. I mean, I find myself is doing video that because I like to do photography too. That I have now started just kind of taking my video camera out more because a lot of times I'll frame the shot and by the time I hit the shutter, the shot's passed.
Yes.
And so I'm like, you know what? Just take the video camera, or maybe yet the shot that I wanted is there, but then right after I hit the shutter, it's like there's a better shot right after it. I mean, I still see it, but it's like I can't get it because it passed. And it's like if I'm rolling video, I'll have it there, and all I have to do is go and isolate, the frame. And I was thinking, well, in a way that's kind of cheating, if you're trying to try and do photographs that way. But then a lot of photographers will do burst photographs, right, where you just do like a series.
right. So what's the difference? You're right.
So then, do you do any burst photography?
No, I don't.
No. So you're all.
I mean, sometimes it feels like a burst,
Right.
but I never do burst, like shoot a bunch of frames,
Yeah.
like with one press of the button.
Right.
I want to figure out how to slow down, not speed up,
I got you. All right.
because I find that shooting more frames doesn't get me that in between moment. It's
Right.
weird. You think it would,
I got you.
but it's actually slowing down gets me that.
Yeah, I got you. I understand. It's
I feel like I think this is going to help. Believe it or not, talking about this
Yeah.
is like therapy for me, and it's going to get me into a better place in my work.
Well, good. It's been
I really
exciting.
appreciate this.
Yeah, it's very insightful for me, and so we kind of circled back, but it's kind of where I wanted to. It's something I wanted to get a sense of, and just kind of share some of my experiences, insights, and so.
Do you want to ask him about any like particular photographs, like Dennis Leary or any?
Well,
I have a story for every single photo I took. So
oh, really?
yeah. So, but
well-
that's maybe another interview. This could be a two-parter.
Well, but I think it is a nice point to stop at and say, why don't we take this up? Because I would imagine there's a story about every photograph. I didn't know to what extent you want.
I have like a crazy story for every single photograph I've taken. I mean, it's really crazy, ridiculous. This could be like a series, like a series of 10 interviews.
Yeah, it certainly could. I mean, so you seem like you want to do that. I mean, so why don't we like wrap this one up here with a nice little tease to doing more, and then we set up a time to
You could
come
sign
and
me
talk about that.
for a block of, I mean, maybe start with 5.
Well, hey, as
Am I
much as
jumping ahead here, or should we just maybe a second interview?
no, you're not jumping ahead. I mean,
I mean, because you put me at ease. I think
it's
I
almost
usually-
like
I
an
usually
offer that's
can't-
too good to pass up. And I'm
I
not gonna
can't
pass
speak
it
in
up.
front of a camera. Really, I'm serious. It's like in front of a camera, I'm horrible. But suddenly you brought this something.
Yeah, well, it's just,
What do you call that? I don't know. Whatever you're doing.
it would be a je ne sais quoi. And,
Yeah.
and it's like,
What does that mean? Wait.
Je ne sais quoi is French for I don't know what.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
So why don't you just say yeah? I don't know what.
Because it sounds so much more sophisticated.
Doesn't it?
It sounds like an object in French.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a famous phrase, though. I mean,
It's like entrepreneur,
yeah. But no,
right?
thanks.
It's like
Go ahead.
yeah.
Well, thanks for the offer, and I'm going to take you up on it, and especially if you want to follow through on it. And I have some ideas about how to follow through on it, but we're going to leave this as a tease for everyone. I mean, because there's going to be more, and what will be great is not only learning the story behind the photographs, but I'm going to learn a lot because there are people in the photographs that I don't really know offhand. I mean, so I'm going to learn 2 things: more about that person and then the story behind it. So, Mark, as
I mean, there's things like I work with homeless veterans.
Yeah.
Love to tell you about them.
yeah,
And work a lot with teams.
yeah.
And so there's still a lot of